Maybe you heard of senescent cells, cells that have stopped dividing but have not been cleared out. So they release what is called SASP, the senescence-associated secretory phenotype.
Okay, welcome to Biohacking Beauty Podcast. To those who can see this, if you can see us, let us know. No, I'm kidding. If for those who can see this, you already know it's kind of a special episode. But in general, we are now bringing you in to a very interesting process, and that is because we have been invited, Anastasia and I, to speak at the biohacking conference, basically the Super Bowl of biohacking. It's called the Beyond Conference by Dave Asprey, and we're going to give a talk there. And part of the preparation for the talk, we wanted to record this podcast as kind of to bring you into the fold of what we're going to be talking about there, and hopefully provide you the same value as the people who are going to go to the conference, aside from the fact that they can shake our hand physically and interact with us.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're planning to come to the biohacking conference, please stop by the booth
And come to the lecture.
we would love to meet you, and please come to the lecture. Spoiler alert, that's going to be the same lecture. Actually, props to the team at the Asprey and the Biohacking Conference. They did want to, screen the talks and figure out what the speakers have prepared. So we're kind of killing two birds with one stone.
Yeah,
here.
because we need to submit the video, so we thought to do a podcast episode around it.
Mhm.
But the topic of the lecture is going to be called NAD exosomes and the death of anti-aging skincare. So obviously you can see I wrote.
I know.
Yeah. But anyway, so I think let's just start. It's
Yeah.
going to be slightly different. You're going to feel slightly different format, but we hope you enjoy it. And obviously, we're always happy to share what we're doing with you.
Yeah, just FYI, it's going to be slightly less conversational, more of like really a preview of a lecture we're about
Yeah.
to give on stage. But a lot of you love deep dives and come with notepads and take notes during our recordings. This is one of those where we're going to be diving deep into the science behind longevity skincare.
Yes. And I think a good way to start is to say, your skin is aging faster than you are. If you're anything like our community, and I think you are, you probably take NAD supplements. Maybe you do peptide therapy, IV exosomes, red light, hyperbaric. You're investing, some of you, thousands of dollars per month in systemic longevity interventions. You're optimizing mitochondrial function. You're addressing cellular senescence. You're thinking in biological pathways. And then you go home and you put on a moisturizer on your face that was designed in 1987. That is the gap we are here to talk about today, not our company, not yet, the gap itself, because it's the biggest gap in the longevity space right now, in my opinion. Everything below the neck is getting optimized at the cellular level, even though I hate the word. Anyway, at the cellular,
The cellular level has become the new anti-aging.
I feel like there's an elevator and you have C for cellular level. Anyway, everything's optimized at the cellular level. Everything above the neck is still stuck in air quotes, the anti-aging era. Retinol, hyaluronic acid, glycolic acid, and hopes and dreams, and thoughts and prayers. My name is Amitai Eshel. I'm here with Anastasia Khojaeva. We are the co-founders of Young Goose Skincare. And over the next 45 minutes or so, we are going to do we're going to do three things. First, we're going to show you why the traditional skincare paradigm is scientifically flawed and even obsolete. Second, we're going to walk you through the three biological pillars that actually determine how your skin ages. And third, once you understand what matters and why, we will show you how we built a protocol around it, or how we think um, as far as the Beyond Dave Asprey conference is concerned, the trailblazers of skin longevity. The how comes later. Anastasia, let's start with the science.
Okay, thank you, Amitai. Did you know that your skin has a biological age? And oftentimes, it's not the same as your chronological age. And this is measurable. In 2025, researchers at Mayo Clinic published work on what they called SkinSpan, a framework for quantifying how quickly skin tissue ages relative to the whole body. And what they found confirmed what molecular biologists knew all along. Your skin does not just reflect your age, it reflects your biology, your metabolic health, your cellular repair capacity, your accumulated senescent cell burden. We now have epigenetic skin clocks, tools that read methylation patterns in skin tissue and calculate biological age with remarkable precision. This is the same science behind the Horvath clock, now adapted specifically for dermal tissue. Companies like Mitra Bio are making this accessible to consumers. You can measure your skin biological age, and importantly, you can change it. Now, here's where it gets interesting. In the longevity space, most of you know about the Hallmarks of Aging, originally published in Cell Journal in 2013, expanded to 12 hallmarks in 2023. These are the biological mechanisms that drive aging at the cellular level, Amitai's favorite statins. So these hallmarks of aging include genomic instability, telomere attrition, epigenetic alterations, loss of proteostasis, disabled microautophagy, mitochondrial dysfunction, cellular senescence, stem cell exhaustion, altered intercellular communication, dysregulated nutrient sensing, chronic inflammation, and dysbiosis. It was a mouthful.
Yeah.
So they are definitely on most of longevity enthusiasts' mind, and
No, now I know why they started with 9. They're like, "Phew, that's a lot."
I know 12 is a lot, and 12 is kind of daunting when you think about like so many processes happening all at once and drive aging from kind of different angle. And every serious longevity intervention, whether it's rapamycin, metformin, NAD plus precursors, senolytics, they all usually target one or more of these hallmarks. That is how you evaluate an intervention. Which hallmarks does it address? Um, Now let's apply this framework to skincare. Take your retinol. What do you think? Which hallmarks does it address? Maybe one, epigenetic alterations. And even that is kind of a stretch.
Yeah.
Okay, another common skincare ingredient, hyaluronic acid. How many hallmarks?
0.
Zero hallmarks.
Guess what? You're not gonna get tired, counting the hallmarks.
Yes. So, what is hyaluronic acid? It's a humectant. It holds water. That is useful, but it's not a longevity intervention. It's not a regenerative molecule. Vitamin C, okay, it has antioxidant support. It addresses genomic instability partially. That is it. So the entire traditional skincare paradigm addresses maybe one to two hallmarks partially, and it addresses them at the symptom level. So it just helps reduce the appearance of fine lines, not really the mechanism level or root cause. It's not something that um, helps you age backwards and look better in the long run. So the question becomes, what would it look like if we apply the same hallmark driven thinking that works for systemic longevity to skin? What are the biological pillars you would need to address? That is what we're going to break down now, starting with the molecule that sits at the center of it all. Please, Amitai, would you introduce
The cellular level. I'm kidding. Yeah. So NAD or NAD plus, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. Good luck saying that. If you're, and again, in our community, in this community, you probably already know this molecule or you've interacted with it before. You might take NMN or NR supplements. You might do NAD IVs. David Sinclair, who has a very famous book called Lifespan, built a significant portion of his research career around NAD and um, the enzymes that the genes in the enzymes they help encode, which are called sirtuins or the sirtuin pathway. It's probably one of the most validated molecules in the longevity science space. But here is the question nobody was asking: what about your skin? NAD levels decline approximately 50% between the ages of 25 and 50 in skin tissue. And I think something that no one mentions is that after one, significant UV exposure event, y- you're basically burning through about 90% of your cellular NAD reservoir in the skin. And NAD is not just like one thing. It's the central metabolic cofactor in your cell, in any cell. It powers mitochondrial energy production through what is called the electron transport chain. It activates sirtuins. You might have heard of like SIRT1, SIRT3, SIRT6, which regulate DNA repair, inflammation, and cellular senescence, which Anastasia mentioned. It's the Basically it's a currency for your cells to use to do anything. When NAD drops, your mitochondria produces less ATP. Less energy means less repair. Less repair means accumulated damage. And accumulated damage means accelerated aging across multiple hallmarks simultaneously. I think you see where we're going with this. It's not just like one pathway, it's the master pathway. So the biology is clear. NAD depletion is at the root, it's the onus of, or at the root level. So we have the cellular level. Now the elevator arrived at the root level. It's the root level driver of skin aging or cellular aging as a whole. The question is, can you restore NAD topically, not systemically, topically, directly in skin tissue, where where this decline, or as I said about UV, where this consumption really happens. And this is where it gets challenging because NAD itself is way too large to penetrate the stratum corneum or your skin barrier effectively. You can't just put NAD in a jar and expect that molecule to reach your cells. So the approach has to be smarter or more intricate than just that. You need to deliver NAD precursors or building blocks, which are way smaller molecules that your skin cells can take up and convert into NAD endogenously, which means after they've taken them up. And ideally, you pair those precursors with recycling enzymes so the NAD your cells indeed do produce gets maintained, not just spiked and then, lost. When you're evaluating any skincare product that claims to support NAD, and let me tell you something, the wave is winter is coming. You're going to see more and more of those products. The question to ask those products or yourself when you're looking at them: what is the delivery mechanism? Are the precursors encapsulated in a way which allows them to actually cross the epidermis? Is there a recycling component? Because without those two things, you're just putting a nice molecule on the surface of your skin and hoping for the best. So, alongside NAD, there are two other actives worth knowing within the confines of the first pillar that we're talking about. The first is spermidine. This is, again, a huge body of evidence. This is clinically studied both topically and systemically as an autophagy inducer. Autophagy is your cell's recycling system. When it it's functioning well, your cells identify damaged proteins, mitochondria, dysfunctional organelles, and cellular debris and break them down, recycle them to allow newer components to be built. It's like biological housekeeping for that matter. And it declines with age. Disabled macroautophagy, which means all the types of autophagy, mitophagy for mitochondria is one of them, but there are many others, is one of the 12 hallmarks of aging, and it compounds over time. And the second molecule that's worth mentioning is copper peptide, specifically GHKCU. Um, Really, it's an incredible, again, super heavily researched. It's a occurring tripeptide, a naturally occurring peptide that declines with age, similar to NAD or spermidine. In published studies, GHKCU has been shown to increase collagen synthesis, support wound healing, activate tissue remodeling genes, and reset gene expression patterns in damaged tissue towards a healthier profile. Actually, GHKCU has been shown to affect 32% of your skin's cellular genome. And incredible human data, uh, which is more than most collagen support claims in skincare can say or show. So, Pillar one, restore, is about rebuilding the energetic and structural foundation. NAD precursors for cellular energy, spermidine for autophagy, and copper peptide for tissue repair. Without this foundation, everything else you put on your skin works at a fraction or on a transactional level, really, of its potential. It's a fraction of its potential. Now, Anastasia, I'm asking you to please show us to talk about the second pillar, and that's where the conversation I feel like really gets interesting and exciting.
All right. So, Amitai just showed you how to restore your skin's energy infrastructure. Now, let us talk about communication. Specifically, how,
It's very important. I heard in marriage.
yes. Yeah, we need to. So, in this case, we're going to see how cells talk to each other
Hmm.
and how that communication breaks down with
Wait,
age.
if cells don't talk to each other well, they can bring a gift and try to make it better.
All right. Yeah, I don't know if there's self counseling.
Yeah.
Um, okay.
That's what we're doing. What's that? That's what we're gonna do right now. We're gonna do some cellular counseling.
Yes, either
Yeah.
way. And the I guess the counselors will be, which I don't see them this way, exosomes.
Mm-hmm.
So you have probably heard the term exosomes, especially in our community. So the exosomes are one of the most exciting areas right now. They're at the forefront of regenerative medicine. But I want to make sure we understand what they actually are because there's a lot of noise and not enough clear information in this space. So, exosomes are nanoscale extracellular vesicles, typically 30 to 150 nanometers in diameter. Every cell in your body releases them, which is kind of a key. Not a lot of people understand that. And they carry cargo. So, they carry proteins, lipids, growth factors, microRNA. And that cargo functions as biological instructions, like biological instructions. Where when you're young and healthy, cell releases exosomes that carry instructions that promote repair, reduce inflammation, and support tissue regeneration. They're essentially your cell's software updates. And so here is the problem. As cells age, the instructions they send also kind of change. So maybe you heard of senescent cells, cells that have stopped dividing but have not been cleared out. So they release what is called SAS, the senescence associated secretory phenotype. Their exosomes carry pro inflammatory signals. They instruct neighboring cells to slow down repair, they increase inflammation. So they essentially make you age faster. So aging is not just individual cells degrading. Um, it's communication failure a lot of the times. So your cells are sending the wrong signals. So the therapeutic idea is straightforward. What if you could deliver exosomes that carry young, healthy instructions to aged skin tissue? That is a premise behind exosome therapy in regenerative aesthetics. Now, not all exosomes are equal. The cargo that they carry, the profile depends entirely on the source of the cell. So you may be familiar with PRP or platelet-rich plasma, one of the most established regenerative therapies in aesthetics. PRP works in large part because platelets are rich in growth factors and signaling molecules. The scientific lineage from PRP to exosomes is direct. When platelets release exosomes, these vesicles carry a concentrated cargo of growth factors, anti-inflammatory microRNAs, and the tissue essentially get all the repair signals it needs to, behave and function younger. The exosome carry the regenerative instructions that make PRP therapy effective, but in a cell-free, stable format. Well, that's basically the premise of PRP and
Yeah.
why it works. In clinical and in vitro studies, platelet-derived exosomes have demonstrated the ability to reprogram aged fibroblasts, the cells responsible for collagen and elastin production. So, some other interventions are able to stimulate them temporarily, but here there is a shift in gene expression profile towards a younger phenotype. So it's a lot more profound. In a way, it stimulates fibroblasts and improves their activity. So it increases the collagen synthesis because that's what fibroblasts do. There is reduced inflammatory markers, improved extracellular matrix organization, and importantly, um, these platelet derived exosomes have been shown to support the clearance of senescent cells, directly addressing one of those key hallmarks of aging we talked about in the first part. So, this is the pillar two signal. If pillar one gives your cells the energy to repair, uh, this pillar gives them the instructions on what repair is and how to go about it. Energy without instruction is inefficient. Instruction without energy is inert. The two pillars are designed to
That's
work
what happens at
together.
home. Giving instruction. I'm inert, don't have energy. Okay.
Yes, I think all the wives can relate. Your husbands are all the same.
All right. But we covered two pillars.
Mhm.
Restore, NAD, spermidine, copper peptides, cellular energy, and repair. Number two was signal, exosomes, intracellular communication, reprogramming aged cells. But there is a third pillar, and I think it's the one our community really doesn't kind of get behind,
Mhm.
doesn't like talking about, and it's not as sexy, which is protect.
Mhm.
There is very little point restoring cellular energy and repairing intercellular signaling if you're not gonna defend against the environmental insults that caused the damage in the first place. UV radiation, for example, degrades barrier lipids quite directly. Blue lights generates reactive oxygen species. Pollution or pollution particles are 30 times smaller than your pore on average. They get they get into your skin pretty easily, and they do damage at that level of the elevator, at the cellular level. So protection in a longevity context is not just SPF. It's antioxidant defense. It's ideally broad spectrum um, antioxidants that cover oxygen, nitrogen, and carbon free radicals. It's barrier support, and it's blue light shielding, which most sunscreens do not address. Okay. So here's the framework: three pillars: restore, signal, and protect. And the key insight is that these pillars are not independent, they're synergistic. Restoring cellular energy makes signaling more effective. Effective signaling directs repair to where it's needed most. And obviously, the protection is it allows us to work in a clean space. It preserves anything that we've built, or it helps us like focus on long term building and not you know quenching of fires, if you would. Now, the question you should be asking about any skincare product, any protocol, any intervention is which hallmarks does it address? And through which of those pillars does it do we look at it so through this lens of pillars? If a protocol only addresses one hallmark or a fraction of a hallmark through one pillar, that's fine. But know that a protocol should do more. A protocol can be more, where each layer addresses specific hallmarks and the layers work synergistically. That is how you create compounding, biological compounding that benefits you over time. No single molecule, that's very important to understand when you look at skincare. When you look, by the way, at anything that you're going to have interact with your biology, no single molecule addresses all 12 hallmarks of aging through all pillars. No single product can. Okay, but a multi-layer protocol designed with this framework can cover the majority of them and potentially all of them, and that is what we set out to build with Young Goose.
Yeah.
Anastasia.
Okay. I guess one more thing before we get into implementation. For those of you who use red light therapy, and I'm guessing here at the biohacking conference, that's most
Right?
of
We're
you.
imagining we're in the biohacking conference right now.
Yes, yes. There is a part, well, we're kind of practicing our talk.
Yeah.
So there is a powerful opportunity to integrate topicals with your red light therapy sessions. So there are light activated compounds, specifically marine derived photolases. They can activate, they can get activated under red light wavelengths to repair UV induced DNA damage. And methylene blue, as a mitochondrial electron carrier, bypasses damaged complexes in the electron transport chain. So that is also really complementary to this process. Um, and all of this, maybe like a few years ago, it would have sounded like a science fiction, but it's no longer theoretical.
It'll be like Spock. Spock is applying skincare, like in Star Wars, in the middle of they're gonna apply this.
So the cool reality that we're living in, these are existing compounds that can make your red light therapy investment work significantly harder at the cellular level. So this integration between devices and topical is where the frontier, you know, has been heading and has arrived. Do you want to go over the protocol?
All right. So you now have a framework, three pillars, 12 hallmarks. You know what to look for and what questions you should ask. Now, let's show you how we applied it, or how we applied this framework, because this is exactly what we've built at Young Goose. That is our philosophy. We're not necessarily like a skincare company in the traditional sense. We're a precision health company that happens to operate in the beauty category. We call ourselves the topical arm of longevity medicine, and every product we make was designed by asking one question: which hallmarks of aging can we address topically, and through which molecular pathway or pathways? Let's start with pillar one: restore. Our foundation serum is called Youth Reset, or our foundational really line of products is called the Youth line of products, because it delivers NAD Apex, which is a third generation NAD boosting complex. It's our proprietary dual action system of liposomal NAD precursors paired with recycling enzyme, or NAD recycling enzymes. Alongside that, it contains spermidine, which, as we mentioned, is designed for autophagy. It's actually a very specific form of spermidine for topical use, and a copper peptide complex for collagen and elastin stimulation. Vitamin C, very, very specific vitamin C, very advanced vitamin C, and enhanced fermented resveratrol. That is NAD restoration, autophagy activation, structural repair, and antioxidant defense in a single product, in a single serum in the form of Youth Reset. And for daily hydration, we have Youth Daily, which is our daily moisturizer, our skin longevity moisturizer, which carries the same NAD Apex system alongside the spermidine, copper peptides, vitamin C, enhanced fermented resveratrol, etc. The idea is that every morning and evening, you are restoring NAD levels. You're activating your sirtuins in the skin. You're maintaining barrier integrity. And NAD Apex is not limited to just those two. It is the backbone of our entire line of products. Um, it's in blue peptide spray, our mitochondrial upgrade mist, which pairs NAD Apex with methylene blue, which we mentioned, and copper peptides, superoxide dismutase, it's called SOD, and spirulina extracts. And it's also in LADR, ladder, our light activated DNA repair serum designed for red light integration, which pairs NAD Apex with marine derived photolases, which are called photosomes, pro-collagen peptides, and spermidine. We're currently running clinical studies on NAD Apex, and the results we're seeing are remarkable. So really, we can't wait to share the full data. But what I can say is that we are measuring the markers that actually matter: sirtuin activation, ATP production, and the direction those numbers are moving. Um, I can say is like very, very encouraging. So stay tuned. Anastasia, what else? So pillar two.
Okay. Okay. So let's talk about vampire exosomes, our professional grade exosome serum. It delivers 3 trillion platelet derived exosomes alongside Rejuve NAD for NAD plus activation through the NAMPT pathway. Um, this serum also has some other ingredients that really help your skin to stay hydrated through this process. Um, Maintains your barrier. It's soothing. So, uh, when it comes to exosomes in topical formulation, sometimes you pay for the renewal that exosomes stimulate with some barrier disruption, with some dryness. So, one of the special things that we did is that we really made sure that there is a microbiome resilience, that your skin barrier will stay intact. And when we're talking about vampire exosomes as a product, like exosomes, basically making giving your skin cells the directions of acting younger. They really need the resources, to do that, and the energy to do that. So that's where NAD boosting comes in, and it's very unique that you have two in one product. And then the vampire exosomes naturally appears in almost every protocol we built, from our longevity protocol to barrier repair to post-procedure recovery. And that is because exosomes address, hallmarks of aging that almost nothing else topical in skincare can touch. So that we're talking about altered intercellular communication, cellular senescence, and stem cell exhaustion. So they address all of that. Um, it's the signaling layer that tells your skin what to repair and how.
And pillar three, first of all, couldn't have said it better. And pillar three, which is protect, is BioShield SPF 40, which is a broad spectrum mineral UV defense with that's based on zinc oxide. But it goes beyond the standard sunscreen, like I mentioned. It contains a very strong antioxidant, maybe the strongest antioxidant is called LPC, LPC 6, So probably the strongest on the market, has a triple action, which we mentioned, which protects against oxygen, nitrogen, and carbon-free radicals, plus ectoin for that blue light protection and barrier repair, and a longevity complex that also helps mitigate some of the EMF effects on the skin. So it's environmental defense that's designed for the longevity-oriented individual who understands that protection is not optional. It's really keeping that. It's really a pillar, right? Now, let's make this actionable. We think about entry points in three tiers as a brand, the way we conceptualize it. So tier one, which is essential, is two products: Youth Reset to restore and BioShield to protect. That foundation alone addresses more hallmarks than most people's entire 10-step routine. Actually, would address all of them almost. The tier two, optimized, we call it, you add the signal pillar, which is Youth Reset plus vampire exosomes plus blue peptide spray plus BioShield. Now you really have energy restoration, intracellular communication, mitochondrial support, and environmental protection. This is where most people in the community choose to start. And tier three, which is our advanced or full protocol, is Youth Reset, Youth Daily, Vampire Exosomes, Blue Peptide Spray, Ladder for your red light therapy sessions, and BioShield and Hyperbaric Mask, which is our overnight lifting oxygen therapy that is activating a pathway called NRF2. This is the complete multi-hallmark protocol. This is what we use ourselves, what you see people like Ben Greenfield use, what we talked with Dave Asprey about on his podcast. This is what we built really Young Goose to deliver, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's funny. There are sometimes, like I see on the internet, and I don't know, that's what people tell me in person. They're like, it seems like everyone's using Young Goose, and it's fun to hear.
Yeah, within the community, yes.
Yes. And we're so thankful. We actually first presented our products here at the Biohacking Conference in 2021. And since then, it's just like we met our community. And then we've been creating really all of our products with the community and listening to the feedback. And it's just like every time we're here, it feels like a family reunion. Okay, so let's talk about one more important thing. That you know, Young Goose products or any of your skincare of choice is not meant to replace what you're already doing. It is meant to complete it. So if you're doing NAD plus IVs, Youth Reset maintains those levels topically between sessions. Because, if you're doing an IV, the body will just like not really prioritize the skin, especially after a certain age, for good and for bad. Like it will probably
Yeah,
all of
your
us,
liver is more important to keep you alive.
an idea will be by body prioritized for your liver and your brain, which is a good thing, if you really dive deep in it. Okay, if you're doing PRP or microneedling, vampire exosomes support the intercellular communication. Those procedures stimulate. It's formulated from the PRP kind of lineage. So if you're using red light, ladder and methylene blue will really support the DNA repair response. So what's I think is really easy with Young Goose is that whatever biohacking modality you have, it's our products kind of amplify what you're already doing and fit into your protocols seamlessly. And we will never tell you like stop what you're doing. This will replace it. It's really to complement and amplify, and that's a lot of what biohacking is really doing it like smarter, not harder, and getting better results in less time than would have been
Yeah.
otherwise. Okay, so we start by telling you that skincare is stuck in the wrong decade, and we have walked you through the biological framework that replaces it. NAD plus restoration, exosome signaling, environmental defense, autophagy, peptide support, senescent cell clearance. Um, so there are three pillars we talked about. There are 12 hallmarks of aging that you now probably will be able to repeat in your sleep. And then, you know, we've gotten a lot of like protocol-driven, evidence-based advice. But the future goes further. And for us, it's not hypothetical. It is what we're building right now. We're about to launch two ways to measure youthful function in the skin. The first is the AI powered facial scanning tool that you can use from your phone. It analyzes visible markers of skin aging and tracks changes over time. So you can see objectively how your protocol is working. The second one goes deeper, literally. We're developing a dry blood spot metabolomic test designed for in clinic use. A simple spot of blood analyzed for the metabolic markers that correlate with skin aging at the cellular level, not surface level.
That's where you entered the elevator, the surface level.
Yes. So again, this is like very in depth. It's not subjective. Metabolomic data that tells you what is actually happening inside your cells, inside your biology. That is the future we're building. It it all is measurable and s- also helping you track changes and your protocol designed around hallmarks should be providing you results that again you can measure and you can see.
Measure, do something about it, measure again.
Yes, and I mean again, most of the people at the biohacking conference probably taking supplements, right? And hopefully uh, taking doing tests, blood work to see you know where they are, and then choosing supplements based on what they're lacking and what the data shows, and then retest in 3 months, 3 to 6 months. So it's very similar. It should be similar when you're approaching skin health. And for a lot of the time, I mean, all of the time until now, it wasn't. You were just buying skincare and hoping for the best and only left with what you feel and see in the mirror, which can be subjective. So this is why we've created two um, tests for you that are not.
Hmm. So if you want to go deeper, Anastasia and I, we host this podcast, which is called Biohacking Beauty Podcast, where we break down the science behind every formulation, interview longevity researchers, and get into the molecular details that we can only scratch the surface of in 45 minutes. We have a comprehensive protocol guide that maps everything we discussed today, three pillars, the three tiers, the hallmarks framework, um, into reference that you can take home and use. You'll find you can find it on our website, which is called younggoose.com. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Please,
come to the booth.
if you haven't yet listened to our podcast, give it a listen. I think if you enjoyed what you heard today, that's definitely where you can stay up to date with everything that the science has to say about skin health and longevity translated to skin health. And if you are planning to be at the biohacking conference, please stop by the booth. We would love to chat with you. We'd love to meet you. And at the booth, we will have actually a facial scanner. So you could actually get some of that measurements we talked about. You'll get to experience a facial done by our lead esthetician, which is really
Master esthetician.
our master esthetician.
He's also lead.
Yes. Anyway, you will love the facial. You can actually experience our products in a in the best way possible. and meet the team, not just us. Meet, get to know us.
Or just nerd out on sirtuins over coffee.
Yes, yes.
That should be the name of the talk. Sirtuins over coffee. One
Well,
more.
I'm
Yeah.
super excited about Biohacking Conference, so I
Yes.
can't wait.
Yeah. Of course, you can get your products there.
Mhm.
And we encourage you to come and experience the biohacking conference as a whole. I think, look, your skin is your largest organ. It's a biomarker for systemic health. And for I think too long, it has been the most neglected part of the longevity conversation. Today, we gave you a framework or the framework to change that. So now you need to go and apply it. Thank you very much. We are Anita and Anastasia from
Young Goose.
Come and Find Us.
Bye.
Bye.